This morning, I went live with Bleacher Report to talk about everything Chargers and what is going to happen in the Chargers' future. So, this is that live stream replay from this morning. Thank you guys for tuning in if you were there. And also, make sure to like, subscribe. If you do enjoy this content, this one's a bit different. It's a bit long form, more like a podcast style. I was just kind of boom, spitballing here and there. But a lot of good information in here. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was a rough game. Let's just get that out of the way. We're not going to talk too much about that Broncos game because, let's be honest, it didn't really even matter going into that game because as Chargers fans, we all knew that this season was not going to end in a playoff berth or even a playoff victory, anything that's going to be, something that we hoped for prior to the season beginning. This game didn't mean much. What really means a lot and what we are going to do today is the future of this organization and what we should do moving forward. Now, a lot of that revolves around the coaching staff and the general manager, a lot of the people in the front office. Thank you guys for tuning in the Bleacher Report live stream. If you are here, we already got someone saying fire Staley and Telesco. Now we got someone saying, what do we do? This is bad. You're right. First of all, let me go and show you the stats from PFF of this game. This is going from the worst PFF grade all the way to the best. And if we look at the worst, Easton Stick was obviously, look, we got to cut him some slack because he's the backup quarterback, obviously. And he's coming into this game. He wasn't expected to play in this game. Now, Joshua Kelly was drafted very recently. I believe he was the 4th round pick, if I'm not mistaken, just off the top of my head. And I remember thinking that we should have drafted a tight end or someone else in any other position than a running back. And now we have Joshua Kelly as the RB in a very poor running back unit as a collective. And he's being graded as the 2nd worst player on our offense. He didn't play great. And there were some plays that he was in pass protection, trying to protect Justin Herbert or Easton Stick, and he let up pressure and let up the sack. Why do you think the inside linebackers of the Broncos were having so much success on those A-gap blitzes? And they kept calling them too because they kept freaking working. It was because the running backs and the guards, specifically Zion Johnson, man, I hate to call him out like that, but they were not having good communication. They need to be able to have their head on a swivel, be able to know what is coming pre-snap and adjust to what they're seeing during the play. Zion Johnson has struggled with keeping his head on a swivel and seeing guys coming specifically on stunt moves, but also the linebackers coming in on the blitz. So they keep calling those A-gap blitzes, and Joshua Kelly, if Zion Johnson in front of him doesn't even know what's going on, Joshua Kelly is probably going to be even in a worse spot than him. Issues all across the board in pass protection. It's not just the offensive line. That falls on the running backs as well. But the protection on this offensive line has not been great. And that is part of the reason that Justin Herbert doesn't play that great. Because let's look at where Justin Herbert is right here, 68.2. And he has not had a great season this far, man. Because let's look at his stats right here throughout his entire career. His rookie season, 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. We loved that. That was great. We loved his rookie season. Sophomore season was even better, man. 5,000 yards, 15 interceptions, 38 touchdowns with 15 interceptions. He was slinging the ball, but you want to see that interception number go down a little bit, and it did in that 3rd season where we see right here, 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. And now this was his worst season, man. We are 5-8, 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. But actually, this interception percentage, as you can see right here, is higher than the year prior. And he has a worse completion percentage than he had all year. His yards per game is worse than he had all of his career. It's been a down year for Justin Herbert, and I'm not saying that he is a bad quarterback. That is absolutely not the case. He has had a ton of issues with the people in front of him in terms of the linemen not being able to block for him, and also the receivers on the outside not being able to catch balls, because how many times have we seen drop passes in this season? And it just all of a sudden came out of nowhere later in the year. Justin Herbert also struggles with the running game, because when the running game is not doing well, it puts him in a bad position on a 3rd and long where he's way behind the sticks. And of course, the other team is going to say, okay, let's just pin our ears back and rush the quarterback because, of course, they know that they're going to pass the ball. It's just a bad position all around to put Justin Herbert in. Derwin James did not play great. He let up a lot of plays that the Broncos didn't even execute on, man. There were so many missed opportunities that the Broncos had that they did not even take advantage of, specifically with Jerry Jeudy. You look at a guy like Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson missed him on a deep pass that would have been like a 50-yard touchdown, and then he missed Jerry Jeudy again on the backside of the end zone. Look at these Quentin Johnston stats, man. That was the game of his career. 3 catches, 91 yards, and he had 30 yards average per catch. It was his best game of his career, but also he hasn't been targeted that much. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's look at these poll results right now. Should the Chargers rest Justin Herbert? I'm going to tell you what I think, because if Justin Herbert does not get put on IR and his season is done for, I think they should absolutely rest Justin Herbert, because there is nothing more important right now. And we're talking about the future. This is what this whole video is about. I know it's kind of podcast style. I'm just telling you everything that I think as soon as it comes to my mind. But the most important thing for the Chargers' future is Justin Herbert and his health and how he plays. After seeing what Justin Herbert has done this season and how huge of a down year it has been, like I just showed you guys with those stats that I pulled up, it is of vital importance that you protect him and that you are able to run the ball so that you don't put him in bad positions. And also, this defense, when the offense was actually playing well, they were not good at all. And then all of a sudden, the defense starts playing well. And we see this Brandon Staley defense start playing like, I don't want to say like they should, but just way better. And then the offense just completely, where did it go? Where did the Chargers offense go? Because earlier in the season, it was flip the script on that. And now this all goes back to the inconsistency. And with the future of this Chargers offense, the only thing that I think is going to stay consistent is Justin Herbert at quarterback. There's no reason to move on from him, obviously, because he gets way too much flack. I know I'm giving him flack right now, but let's just be honest, man. This season was clearly the worst season that he's had. He had games where he looked great. He looked awesome, man. But then he also had games like the one that we just saw prior to his injury against the Broncos yesterday. He was missing passes. Let's just face the facts. He was missing passes. He missed Keenan Allen over the middle on his very first pass on a play action pass. And then he also missed Quentin Johnston over the middle in the end zone once he got the ball at the 13-yard line after the Michael Davis interception. And then he also missed Gerald Everett on that 4th down, man. Those are 2 touchdowns that we just dissolved because Justin Herbert missed those throws. And it's not all on Justin Herbert. I had some people in my comments yesterday on my video saying, like, why are you putting this loss on Justin Herbert? There's no way that you can blame Justin Herbert for the Chargers' loss. Like, I'm not blaming Justin Herbert. I'm absolutely not. The only reason that the Chargers have a chance in most of these games is because of Justin Herbert. But we don't have to put him on this pedestal like he's this freaking King Kong, Godzilla monster kind of dude. Like Patrick Mahomes, he gets put on that kind of pedestal. And look, the Chiefs, they still lose games. Their offense still looks bad at times. Patrick Mahomes still misses throws. It doesn't mean that these guys are not good quarterbacks. Yes, they absolutely are. And the Chargers offense revolves entirely around Justin Herbert. When Justin Herbert does not play well, this offense cannot do anything. When Justin Herbert does play well and he looks amazing, the offense looks fine. They look pretty average. And a lot of that is because of this offensive line. I know I keep talking about this offensive line, but let me tell you about Tom Telesco, because Tom Telesco has put a lot of resources into this offensive line, man, and it just has not been good. I actually want to talk a little bit about Tom Telesco right now. We have the poll numbers up right now. 100% of the people in the chat right now say that you should not play Justin Herbert for the rest of the year. And the reason why we are all saying that is because his health is way more important than any of the games for the rest of the season. And honestly, you could have even made an argument that none of the games really even mattered in terms of playoff contention and all this stuff after like the Packers game, I don't see how you can make an argument to keep Tom Telesco after this season. I think after this season, what you absolutely must do is, first of all, rest Justin Herbert because you don't want him to get any more injury. You don't want to aggravate that at all. And then you fire Brandon Staley as soon as you can. And then you have a little bit of a party because you just fired Brandon Staley. And then you say, Tom Telesco, you know what? I'm sorry. You're going to have to leave too, buddy. Because ever since 2013, you have fooled all of us into thinking that you fielded a good team, that we have all of this talent. But what has that talent netted us? It has not given us anything. I think we have one playoff win in the entire regime of Tom Telesco throughout all the coaches, Mike McCoy, Anthony Lynn, and now Brandon Staley. We have one playoff win, man. So why are there people that are actually defending Tom Telesco and these draft picks and the decisions that he's made? I mean, we are still paying Josey Jackson. What is it? Let me go to Spot Rack here. Actually, let me share my screen and tell you guys how much money Josey Jackson is still getting paid. Here we go. Where's Spot Rack right here? Let me pull it up. Let me scroll all the way up. No, it's actually down to look at Josey Jackson. We're paying Josey Jackson almost $12 million this year. And next year, we're going to pay him almost $20 million just to be off the team. Like, he must go. I'm sorry. He has to go. Josey Jackson, he was a bit of an issue in the locker room, man. But I'm also going to say Brandon Staley did not utilize Josey Jackson the way he should have. And if he did from the get-go, JC might not have been an issue in the locker room, or at least as much of an issue. Look at these guys that we have and the impending cap room issues that we're going to have. Austin Eckler and Joshua Kelly are unrestricted free agents. They're going to go. They're not going to be on this team. We're going to have Isaiah Spiller and then literally anybody, probably another fourth-round running back just like Joshua Kelly was. Mike Williams, who is injured, is going to get a big pay bump to $13 million a year next year. And guess who also is? Keenan Allen. Are you going to have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams getting almost $70 million next year? Guys, one of these wide receivers is probably not going to be on the team next year. And I think Mike Williams is not going to be on the team. You look at Quentin Johnston. Obviously, you drafted him because you expected this issue to happen next season. Josh Palmer is going to be here. Is he going to be here long-term, man, after next season? I don't know. And then the tight ends, we're going to have like no tight end. Gerald Everett's going to be gone after this year. And then we have Donald Parham and Stone Smart. You need to draft Brock Bowers. Let's get on that Brock Bowers train. In the offensive line, you pay Corey Linsley the most out of any center in the league. He's not playing anymore. And he's probably going to be done. He's probably going to retire. So you have a hole at center unless you want to keep playing Will Clapp there. Rashawn Slater, love it. Trey Pipkins, Trey Pipkins going to be getting $3.75 million all the way up to $8.75 million. Are you guys okay with that? Do you guys want to pay Trey Pipkins almost $10 million a year to be your right tackle of the future? I don't, man. I'd rather risk it with somebody else. I'd rather swing out Jamari Sawyer, say, hey, buddy, just do the best that you can at right tackle, bro. Zion Johnson, he's going to be here for the long term, I think, because, again, you invested that first-round pick, and he's going to be here for a while. Jamari Sawyer as well. And let's go down. Austin Johnson is going to leave. Sebastian Joseph Day getting a lot of money. Tuli Tuipulotu home run pick. Go back to Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Because we have another issue here, man. Khalil Mack is going to go from 16 to 38 million next year. Kind of like Mike Williams was. Joey Bosa, same thing, 15 to 36 million. These guys are getting so much money. And I'm going to be honest with you again, just like I think one of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen is going to go, and I think it's going to be Mike Williams, but one of Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa is probably going to go too, man. And I think if you look at, there's an argument to make for either one of these guys because Khalil Mack has obviously outplayed Joey Bosa and he's healthy, but Joey Bosa is younger and he's got more time left on this contract. Honestly, one of these guys is probably going to go. If it were me making this decision, I would let go of Joey Bosa. And now we go down. Kenneth Murray is going to be gone after this year as well. Made a huge mistake not resigning Drew Tranquill. Michael Davis is going to be gone. Derwin James getting another big pay bump next year. A lot of these guys are getting huge pay bumps. Do you cut Derwin James because of how poorly he has played this year? Me? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I've been saying that Derwin James has not been playing up to his level of play, but from what I've seen in Derwin James earlier in his career, I'm not willing to cut him just because he had one bad season, man. I'm going to eat that money if I need to. And then you look at the rest of this DB room, it's like nothing, man. It's bad. And you look at that, and you're paying Josey Jackson more than almost everybody besides Derwin James in that DB room. Ay. Somebody in the chat, extend Khalil Mack. You could absolutely do that if you cut Joey Bosa. Extend Keenan, trade Bosa, trade Mike Williams, and cut Sebastian Joseph Day. So now we're getting into trades here. You look at Joey Bosa. Who are you going to trade Joey Bosa to? Is Joey Bosa going to actually have a market? Because I'm not sure. Like, I'm a big fan of Joey Bosa, and as a Chargers fan, I don't really think that he's worth this $36 million. So what other team would think he's worth $36 million? You got to trick somebody. You got to trick the Jaguars into taking him on or something like that and say, hey, trade him to the 49ers. Say, hey, you put Nik Bosa and Joey Bosa together. That's a 2 out of 2. You get the bonus right there. So that makes both of them get plus 20 in pass rush, like Madden. You completed the set. That's what you got to do. Trade Joey Bosa to the 49ers, and they'll get plus 20 in pass rush. You also got to trade Mike Williams and cut Sebastian Joseph Day. Trading Mike Williams, I think, is probably an easier thing to do than trading Joey Bosa at this point, because Mike Williams showed this year and he showed last year what he can do when he is healthy. Now, a lot of you guys kind of already answered. I got some of these other polls here, but let me talk about Quentin Johnston here. I'm going to put up a poll for Quentin Johnston because my question is, has Quentin Johnston found his rhythm? Because Quentin Johnston has looked good in these past 2 weeks, and he hasn't really been given much opportunity to look good throughout his career so far. And in my opinion, he has improved, but I don't think he's where we all want him to be. And we're already getting 100% of the votes. No, we should have drafted Zay Flowers. Okay, bro. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Let me go back and show you the stats right here, because I actually added this all up. Let me tell you about the targets right now. 48 targets, okay, for Quentin Johnston. And he has 29 recoveries, 333 yards, 1 touchdown. Not really given much of an opportunity. Right here, this is Zay Flowers, the guy that a lot of you guys wanted. 90 targets. He's got 90 targets this year for 64 catches, 673 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then obviously that rushing touchdown against us to win the game. Jordan Addison, too. He has 85 targets on these 56 catches, 713 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And then even look at Tank Dell. 47 catches. This man does not even have a picture on Pro Football Reference, and he's outperforming our first-round pick, Quentin Johnston. Now, a lot of you guys wanted Tank Dell too. I did too. I thought he would be a nice pick in the 2nd round, but he was drafted in the 3rd round. Somebody says, my take is Quentin cannot catch Herbert's Rockets. I think Justin Herbert has more touch than a lot of people give him credit for. I think he really does. I just think that he has issues at times in deciphering when to throw with touch and when to throw that thing like a laser. I think Quentin Johnston, when he drops the ball, it seems like it's mostly his fault, because he's either palming the ball, it's hitting his palms and not his soft fingertips, because that's where you got to catch it, or he's trying to catch it with his chest and it just, boom, bounces off the pads or something, bounce off the sternum. It's coaching for the most part, in my opinion. Yeah, I think most of it is coaching, but you look at who hired the coaches. I mean, Tom Telesco hired the coaches. Now you're saying, and the executives. You're right. So we're on the same page right here. It is the coaching, but what is the, I guess the word is, what is the derivative of that? It's the front office right here. Front office is controlling the coaches. So that's why it has been this consistent issue ever since Tom Telesco has been hired, man. When we had AJ Smith, we were making the playoffs sometimes. We had Marty Schottenheimer. We had Norv Turner. And we were making the playoffs. My only complaint on Herbert is he doesn't use his legs as much as he should or could. The thing with Justin Herbert is it's, again, that deciphering when to do what he should do. So it goes back to the throwing with touch. Sometimes he doesn't throw with touch when he should. And then sometimes he doesn't run the ball when he should. I think it's all about just kind of understanding when to use the tools that he has, because he has so many tools. This guy is actually really, really good. He should not be getting as much hate as he is getting. Although I have been critical of him when he deserves it, he's still an amazing quarterback. And he just needs to learn I think it's like, I think it's a football IQ thing, man. Because also pre-snap, how many times have we seen a look from the defense and they're looking like they're going to bring pressure, and then there's a free rusher from someone pre-snap? In my opinion, a lot of that goes on to the quarterback. Like, obviously it's Corey Linsley too. Being out, it has messed up this offensive line and the protection and calling out what's going on, Apple 42, whatever. But a lot of that pre-snap diagnosis is on the quarterback, man. It's on the center and it's on the quarterback. So we can't just completely cut Justin Herbert slack all of the time because he is really freaking good. In order to have him be the best that he can be, he needs to be able to take constructive criticism like this and become better, because that's the kind of guy he is. He will get better if he looks at the parts of his game that he can improve, and he will do it. All these kills and audibles, still free rusher, makes no sense. Staley lost the locker room a long time ago, and it's shown on the field. I don't know if he lost the locker room, man. It's tough for me to tell, because I just feel like all season they've not really played with a ton of passion. It sucks, man, because I feel like sometimes us as fans, we're more passionate than some of these players. And like, I'm not in the building and I'm just looking at the product on the field. And sometimes I'm looking at these guys, and specifically a couple times this season, I'm like, bro, get excited out there. Have some passion. Like, this is football, bro. This is the best sport in the world. And it looks like some of these guys are just jogging on the field, like going through the motions. Maybe he did lose the locker room in the Jacksonville game, but it sucks to see, man. I'd be the water boy for free. Yeah, bro. How many of you guys would just be a water boy for free on that dang sideline? Hey, fire Brandon Staley, then I'll be a water boy, because I'm not being on that sideline with that coaching staff. I'll tell you that, Wolfgang 559. But yeah, man, future of this team is on the field right now. It's Justin Herbert. It's not this coaching staff. It's not the front office. And those guys got to go. We're going to bring somebody in. Jim Harbaugh, Bill Belichick. I don't know about Bill Belichick, I'll be honest with you. The dream scenario for me right now is if Mike Tomlin gets fired, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if he will, but if Mike Tomlin gets fired, I'm all over that. We still have a bright future, because how many teams would just kill to have a quarterback like Justin Herbert right now? How many teams? There are not many people in the world that can do what Justin Herbert does, and that is what we need to appreciate in the midst of a terrible season and some cap issues that are impending next season. This team is going to be looking a lot different next year on the field and off the field. A lot of weird things going on, but that is why, in my opinion, you need to clean house, and you need to not keep anyone on this coaching staff. The biggest argument that you can make, I don't think is with Kellen Moore. I think it's with Ryan Ficken, the special teams coach, because the special teams has looked pretty good. Thank you guys so much for watching the Bleacher Report live stream. If you tuned in, you're a real one, okay? After that game, if you still tuned into this live stream as a Chargers fan, you're a freaking real one for that. And I will see you guys after the game on Thursday, where Easton Stick, our starting quarterback, is going to take on the Raiders in Las Vegas. We'll see how that one goes. A lot of you guys probably going to be rooting for a loss on that one, but we'll see what happens. I will see you guys on Thursday. Thank you so much for watching.